Hello, this is Chris from QuadShot Software with the second in a series of videos about OpenTickets Community Edition. In the previous video, I showed you how to install the OpenTickets plugin together with WooCommerce and to change the settings that needed to be done. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up your first event that you can sell tickets for. The first thing we need to do is to actually create the ticket. And in this system, the ticket is actually a WooCommerce product. So if we go down in the left-hand pane to Products, which is immediately below WooCommerce, and add a product, we're going to need to give our ticket a unique name. And so I'm going to call this Benefit Concert Ticket. As we scroll down the page within the product data, we're going to need to set this to be ticket by checking the box here. Next, we need to set a price for our ticket, and for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to set the ticket price at $25. The final thing we need to do is to assign an image for the ticket, and we do this by means of the featured image, not an image within the product gallery. So under featured image, I'm going to click the link marked Set Featured Image. I'm going to pick the image that I want to use and say set that as the product image. That's now completed everything I needed to do for the ticket, so I'm going to click Publish. The next thing we need to do is to set up the venue. And in the left-hand pane under the OpenTickets heading, you'll see a link for venues. So click on there and again click on Add Venue. For the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to set up an event that will be playing at London's Buckingham Palace. So the venue name is going to be Buckingham Palace. Scrolling down the page, our next area of interest that we need to deal with is the event area. Now, a single venue can have multiple event areas associated with it, each of which can have their own tickets. I'm going to set up the first area for this particular venue by clicking on the Add button and selecting an image for it. I'm going to be using Ballroom as my area, so pick an appropriate image, click Select, and there it is in. Next, I'm going to need to give it an area name, and I'm just going to call it Ballroom. Beneath this, we need to give it a capacity, and I'm going to set 200. As you sell tickets within this system, it keeps track of the number of tickets sold and won't allow you to sell tickets beyond the number that you have set within this capacity field. In the available pricing, you can see it has already picked up the ticket that we created in the previous step. I'm now simply going to click Save to save all those area details. The next thing we're going to want to do is to set up the venue information, in particular the address. When the e-ticket gets emailed to your customers, one of the things that will be in it will be a map of showing exactly where the location is, if you complete this particular information. That's why I strongly urge you to do so. So I'm going to do that now. And the final thing we need to do is to set up a featured image for the venue. So here in the right-hand pane, again, I'm going to click Set Featured Image, and I'm going to pick an image that I can use here. Having done all that, our venue details are complete and the venue can be published. The final step we need to do in our setup is to create the event itself by clicking on the Events link in the left-hand column. I'm going to click on Add Event, And we need to give our event a title. I'm going to call it Benefit Concert. Scrolling down the page, immediately above the calendar is a button marked New Event Date. That's what we're going to need to click now in order to set those parameters. By default, it will offer today's date, but I'm going to set a date at the end of the year in December. So scrolling through the months until I find that month, I'm going to pick December the 9th, and you can see it there as the start and end date of the event that we're setting up. For the time, I'm going to set 8 p.m. as the start time, and I'm going to set 11 p.m. as the end time. With those details entered, I now need to click the button marked Add to Calendar. The system tells me it's added it, and as I scroll down, there is a box there for it showing that particular event. I now click on that, and several settings open up to the right. The first of these is the status. Assuming I want this particular event to be shown immediately on my calendar, I'm going to want to change the status to be published. If it's either of the other two, it won't appear on the event calendar. Click OK. Visibility, I'm happy to leave as public. There are several options you can use within the visibility, and these will be discussed in a later video. The next item is the publish date. This is the date on which you want that event to appear on your event calendar. It proposes today's date. I'm going to accept that. Next, for the venue, you'll see there Buckingham Palace that we had previously set up, and in the event area, you'll see the ballroom. With all of those settings done, the last thing that needs to be done is to set a featured image for this particular event. So clicking on here, I'm going to use the same one that I did earlier and set that in. All of my details are now correct, and I can simply click on Publish to publish that event. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to make that visible on your event calendar within your website. But the event and all its details have now been successfully set up.